Greetings everyone. We are back with another Sneaker Shop Talk performance review, and today is the Ballin' Layup. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, getting into the upper and the fit here. As you can see, you've got a leather that wraps around the midfoot and back, and then the front, the forefoot here is of course a synthetic material here. The fit of the shoe is actually very good. The shoe flexes well. The break-in time was very minimal. The playability of the layup from the upper standpoint right out of the box is very high. Once you put it in, you lace it up. It does a very good job of holding your foot in place. I didn't experience any foot movement whatsoever in the shoe. I will say this, because I have a tendency sometimes to just make sure you lace them up tight, because if you don't, then your foot will move. But once you do that, it just doesn't let your foot move front to back or side to side. There's a hair. It's not perfect, because back here I did experience a touch of heel slip. It was a bit noticeable, moving a bit, and I feel the padding at the back, it's not really what I would say notched or sculpted, rather is the word I'm looking for. It's almost like it's shaped like that, so it doesn't quite cradle that area in terms of the center, working with the upper and the lacing system to lock that area down in place. And I think that was the culprit for that. But it wasn't to the extent of being a deal breaker, but it does, I could tell that my heel wasn't quite seated down to the footbed like I wanted it to be. So be cognizant of that. But other than that, the fit was really good from here up. A little issue back there, but other than that, the fit was very, very good. Cushioning, you've got a foam midsole, and then you've got 3DO here and here. And if you go to the website, 3DO is basically like for lack of a better term, it's a smart polymer. If you go to their website, it basically has two different states. In its static state is rather soft, but then when the impact force is applied, it will kind of get hard in order to deal and disperse those forces. And as weird as this, you could actually tell that if you just, when you walk around and kind of press on the D3O, I kept wanting to say 3DO, but the D3O, you could kind of tell a difference. And then once you actually in play, you could definitely feel the difference then. It's pretty interesting technology. It's also used in things like football helmets and other things. It's very interesting. If you want to head over to the website, I'll have a link there in the YouTube video to check that out. It's pretty interesting. But it does provide good cushioning in conjunction with the sock liner here. You've got in the heel, excuse me, you've got two different, two layers in the heel. The forefoot is a little thin. I would have liked to have this second layer of foam extend all the way through the sock liner to actually help with the cushion feel, because while the D3O does its job, this here, it definitely makes a difference. You can notice when you're wearing how it feels in the heel as opposed to the forefoot. It's a little firmer here than it is here, because you don't have that extra foam layer there. But other than that, the D3O, it really does its job. It's a very interesting tech, and I was pleasantly surprised at the level of cushioning that this material provided. really interested to see what other ways they can actually apply this into future models. All right, now we're down to the traction here. As you can see, you've got sections of herringbone here, and then the rest of the upper is, of course, the purple sections. You've got textured, and it's got channels cut into it. Traction is actually pretty decent. This rubber here, and let me try to get a closer shot here. As you can tell, this rubber, particularly in the herringbone section, is very stiff. It's a very hard rubber. I'm gonna turn the camera down here. Okay, and despite that, which I thought that was going to be a red flag for being poor traction, but it was actually a lot better than I thought it would be. It does a good job of gripping the floor. This purple section, the rubber fresh out of the box, it is pretty sticky, and it will pick up dust, which does somewhat cause the traction to somewhat degrade. So if you do play these indoors, kind of be mindful of that. But it does improve once the rubber does wear down. And another thing, if you're looking for an outdoor shoe, at least from the standpoint of outsole durability, this rubber is very hard, and it would lend itself to being used outdoors. So the traction is good. There was some degree of slippage, you know, when you're maybe making a cut or something. There would be at times a hair of slippage, and typically that's not a big deal. That 1/8 or 1/16 of a second can mean the difference between being open and not open, maybe getting to a shooter and not getting into a shooter, going from a charge to a block, so on and so forth, those split-second type plays. But overall, the cushioning was good, and I was very impressed. And kind of, I'm going to slide back up real quick because I do want to touch on this area as well. As you can see here, you do have carbon fiber, which is really good considering, again, this is a shoe that's under $65. And that does help with midfoot support and torsional rigidity. So it's very good, you know, considering the price point, that they took the care to put material like that in the shoe. So definitely kudos to Ballin for that. In closing, the Ballin Layup is actually a very solid all-around performer. It does with the, not perfect, but solid, provides fairly good fit, the exception of the heel issue, provides pretty good traction. Definitely want to make sure you do try to keep the outsoles clean, as they will pick up rubber, or not rubber, but dust on a dusty court. The cushioning is good. The D3O material is very interesting as a cushioning source, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Ballin's going to be able to do in the future with them. Even though the materials are fairly good, with the exception of this area here. Let me cover that real quick. This grip tape like material here on the lateral side did come off, actually unglued from the shoe on both that I have, and it seems to be because this is just glued on and it's at a flex point. So what happened was the flexing of the shoe just kind of pushed that material right off. And I think if it was sewn on or maybe cut in a different shape, it wouldn't have had that issue there. And then on this shoe, of course, I did have some sole separation there. But that particular area notwithstanding, the materials are pretty decent. The leather that wraps up around the top part of the midfoot actually feels pretty good. It's put together. It's fairly well constructed, with, you know, and you're getting carbon fiber, which is good considering it's only, the price point is only at $59. This can be a good value performer, say considering the price point. If you're looking for a shoe, you know, to do some duty on an outdoor court, this could double as that as well, as it will stand up to outdoor wear as well. If you need a mid-collar shoe or a shoe that has uber responsive cushioning, this may not be the shoe for you. But those of you who want to try something different, or maybe looking for a good shoe and not wanting to break the bank to get it, this could definitely be a viable option for you. So definitely feel free to check it out. Now, and that's going to wrap up our look at the ball and layup. Feel free to head over to the website at sneakershoptalk.com for a detailed write-up on these as well, and also go like the Facebook page, facebook.com/sneakershoptalk, where we discuss shoes, sports, and all related things. So definitely head over and join the conversation. Thank everyone for watching. Peace.